You have probably been told to stop crying more times than you can count. Maybe it was a parent. Maybe it was a partner who got uncomfortable the second your eyes welled up. Maybe it was you telling yourself to get it together because crying felt like losing. But here is something nobody ever explained to you. The people who cry the easiest are usually not the weakest people in the room. They are often the most psychologically tuned in. Think about the last time you teared up over something small. A song, a stranger's kindness, a scene in a movie that everyone else just shrugged off. You probably felt embarrassed about it afterward, like you had overreacted to something that should not have affected you that much. But what if your reaction was not too much? What if it was just more accurate than everyone else's? Here is what is actually happening in your brain when this occurs. Some nervous systems are simply built to process emotional information more deeply than others. It is not a flaw, it is wiring. Researchers have studied this for decades, and what they keep finding is that people who feel things intensely are not malfunctioning emotionally. They are running a more detailed scan of the world around them than most people even know is possible. You pick up on things other people miss completely. The tightness in someone's voice when they say they are fine. The half-second pause before a forced smile. The shift in a room's energy before anyone says a word. You are not imagining these things. You are reading them in real time, automatically, without even trying. And when that information hits you, your body responds before your mind even catches up. That is not weakness. That is data processing at a speed most people are not equipped for. Now, here is the part that explains why you cry at things that seem disconnected from your own life. You watch someone else struggle, and you feel it in your own chest. A lump in your throat. A tightness you cannot explain. This is not you being dramatic. This is your nervous system mirroring someone else's experience so closely that your body cannot tell the difference between watching pain and feeling it. That kind of empathy is rare, and it comes with a cost you are probably already familiar with. After certain conversations, you do not just walk away and forget about them. You replay them. You lie there at night thinking about a look on someone's face from hours earlier. You revisit moments from years ago and feel a version of that original emotion all over again. This is not you being unable to move on. This is your mind doing something most people never bother to do. It is making meaning out of what it absorbed, instead of letting it disappear unprocessed. And here is something most people never stop to consider about the act of crying itself. Emotional tears are chemically different from the tears your eyes produce just to stay moist. They carry actual stress hormones. Your body is not just expressing something when you cry. It is releasing something physically, biochemically. That tight feeling in your chest before you cry, and that strange sense of relief after, that is not random. That is your nervous system completing a cycle it needed to finish. So if you cry more often than the people around you, your system is not unstable. It is doing maintenance more frequently because it is carrying more load to begin with. A pressure valve that releases regularly is not a sign of something broken. It is a sign of something working exactly as it should. Now think about what this actually means for how you operate in relationships, because this is where it really shows up. You are probably the person people come to when something is wrong, even if they cannot explain why. You listen differently. You are not performing attention. You are actually present, picking up on what is not being said out loud. You probably know what you are feeling with more precision than most people around you, because you have had to. You needed the language for it just to survive your own inner world. And you have likely never let yourself get fully numb, even when life gave you every reason to. That is not an accident. That is a kind of endurance most people never have to test, because they shut the door on their own feelings a long time ago. You did not. So here is the real question worth sitting with. Who actually has more strength? The person who has trained themselves to feel nothing, who keeps a flat expression through everything and calls that control? Or you, the one who still lets things in, who still responds to the world instead of armoring against it, who has not traded the ability to feel for the comfort of looking unaffected? Crying easily was never the problem. Being told it was the problem, That was the problem. What you actually have is a nervous system tuned to notice what others miss, and a capacity to feel things at a depth most people quietly avoid. That is not something to apologize for. That is something to understand.